thank yous. The AM 950 2023 calendar is ready to go, featuring photos I took around Minnesota. Members who sign up with a one-time $50 membership or a recurring monthly membership of $10 will be helping to support the largest progressive radio station in the state. And as a thank you, we'll send you the 2023 calendar. Brand new this year is the AM 950 National Parks poster. The poster features photos I took of the national parks in various locations in Utah, Arizona, and Colorado this year. If you help support AM 950 by becoming a member with a one-time $99.50 donation or a recurring $25 per month donation, AM 950 will send the poster and the calendar as a thank you. Help AM 950 keep broadcasting the powerhouse progressive lineup you love and help keep Minnesota blue. Go to am950radio.com to sign up as a member, and thank you so much for supporting AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Portions of the following program may be pre-recorded.
There are things that we experience but never talk about. A shadow moving in a corner, flickering of the lights, a disembodied voice. We invite you to talk with us, share your story, share your evidence, because this isn't just your story, this is our story. This is Ghostbox Radio.
And this is Ghostbox Radio on AM 950, where every week we talk about the paranormal, ufology, Bigfoot, or just the unusual. My name is Shar Savoy. Greg Bakken is away appearing at Council Room this weekend. Thank you for joining me today. Like I said, I am Shar Savoy. I'm the owner of Sharvinity, where I offer energy healings, intuitive and mediumship readings, also classes and events. And I'm also the owner of the Metamorphosis Connections, the online directory for holistic and metaphysical practitioners and businesses. I invite you to follow both Facebook pages to see all the amazing upcoming events both have to offer. And before we meet our guest today, I want to just take a quick moment and wish Greg a very happy birthday today. I think we should all go over and flood all of his Facebook pages and wish him a very happy birthday. So happy birthday, Greg. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today, my guest is one of my dear friends, Renee Evans. Renee is a registered nurse and owner of Natural Nurse Solutions. She is also a very gifted psychic and medium and an energy healer. Through her years of experience as an RN and being faced with her own health crisis, she developed Natural Nurse Solutions to help support others on their own health journey. Throughout her journey, she has tapped into both Eastern and Western medicine approaches, reversed her disease, and lost 104 pounds with a nutritional and wellness curriculum. She now helps others do the same through a whole body approach to medicine, and she works diligently to identify nutrient deficiencies and develop a plan to help bridge the gap between nutrition, mind, body, and health. Renee, welcome to Ghostbox Radio.
Thanks, Shar. Thanks for having me on today.
Absolutely. Now, before we get started, I would like to invite all of our listeners to join in the conversation. To do so, you can ask a one question to Renee. You can call into 952-946-6205 or email us a comment or a question. The email address for the station is comment@am950radio.com. We are live on AM 950 Radio, but also streaming video on the following Facebook pages. You can watch us on AM 950, Things Network, MN Ghostbox, Free Spirited Network, RU Media, Skeleton Key Network, and Temple of the Fusic Rising Entertainment. So please go there and support those pages too. Feel free to leave questions on any of those pages you are watching, and I will try to monitor them throughout the whole entire show. So Renee, thanks for being here. First of all, I want to ask you, what got you into nursing? Like, what made you decide to do this?
You know, I actually started off when I was very young. I initially thought that I was going to go into physical therapy. But when I was in 8th grade, my dad ended up having a kidney transplant, and it really changed my perspective of what nursing was versus what PT was at a very young age. So as soon as I could, I went and I got my CNA license, got that right away when I was in high school, and started to just really focus on nursing. It really became something I was interested in from the time I was young. I would always ask the nurses that I was working with just constantly just different questions. And I really just kind of found my path in that way. I knew that I was a caregiver from that age. So all the way through high school, I worked as a CNA and then quickly graduated from high school and started nursing. Well, I started my prereqs first, which kind of took a while. But started working as an EMT in the emergency room. And that opened up my eyes for miles. There was things that I seen in before I was even a nurse that I never thought that was possible working in the emergency room. But it really just, again, I just kind of pushed me into that direction with my career, is being a nurse. So I became a nurse in 2007. I worked as an LPN for a little while, but was still just ER run, just kind of an adrenaline junkie. So I continued to work as an EMT. And then I also worked at a nursing home to just kind of get experience with medications, just learning the ins and the outs of all the, patient care, that bedside manner, as an LPN at a nursing home. And then in the process of that was going to finish my RN degree. So I finished my RN degree, and then I knew at some point, like, I wanted to get back into the emergency room. I graduated nursing school right in the recession between 2008, 2009, and I just started applying everywhere all over the country. I worked in pediatrics as my very first nursing job, and I never thought that I would love peds as much as I did, because when you're working with very critical kids, it scares everybody. But I really you start to learn the dynamics of the family. You start to really kind of learn the specifics of what that child needs. And I feel like that really opened me up to eventually want to get back to the emergency room, which I did as soon as I could. And I have been working in the emergency room as well as hyperbaric medicine ever since. So it's been quite the journey.
Very cool. Now, I used to be a medical assistant, and when I first met you and you told me your nursing history, I'm like, man, you are like hardcore nurse. I mean, I know the hospitals that you worked in. I mean, you are like in some serious emergency departments. I mean, I'm like, no. I'm happy for you, but no.
I oftentimes think it's like I wish my eyes could forget what I've seen, but it's also, I knew that, working with a lot of the nurses that I have and the physicians I have, I always wanted to work in our stabilization room. And I never knew why, because that was like the busiest part of the ER. Who would want to do that? But I always felt like I could be the calm in the storm for people. And being there for people on the worst days of their life, it really makes you appreciate what you have in your life.
And I love that about you, because that truly is who you are. And like, to a core, just in general, like, that's just who you are. You want to help people. You want to find out what they need and take care of them. And I love that. And I love that that's what drives you in your nursing career. And it just speaks to what it is that what's coming ahead for you, which I'm so excited to talk about today, is, your passion for this. And then also your personal experience as to why you got in it with your dad. I mean, so you are truly in this with all of your heart. And I love that about you.
I know I always joke around that I wish that I could, just be a nurse and not get paid for it. But it's like, it's just because it's part of who I am.
Right.
And, eventually maybe I'll be able to volunteer that time and be able to travel all over and help people. That's my main goal, of being able to help people everywhere.
Right. Well, you can manifest anything.
Absolutely.
All right. So now you're kind of taking a shift a little bit with your nursing. You started something new, which is Natural Nurse Solutions. So what is that?
So Natural Nurse Solutions, it was actually kind of initially developed because I started losing my own health. This started about probably 4 or 5 years ago. I was in the process of losing weight, kind of my own way, thinking I needed to, kill myself at the gym, work really hard, which I did. I was working really hard, and I lost about 45 pounds, and I decided that I wanted to do a fitness competition. In the process of that, I ended up getting very, very sick and got a condition that almost ended up shutting my kidneys down. And they had no idea how to specifically treat me while I was in the hospital. So it started to become that moment of the nurse being on the other side of the bed, not knowing what they were going to do. And I've been in situations like that before, where they're pulling out the reference books, they're pulling out all these different things, and I was that patient. So it was really difficult for me. And I feel like the weaker my body became, the more awake internally and intuitive I became. Because, you listen to your patients of the things that they're going through, but it's asking those right questions that help you lead down a path to be able to help them. And so with me kind of losing my own health in the process of this, and it was, once I was discharged from the hospital, it was kind of good luck. And I had asked them at that time, like, can I do DNA testing, something to find out why my condition got as bad as it did? They told me at that time that I would have to get sick with this 3 to 4 more times before they would actually look into it.
Oh, that's terrible.
I know. And so it scared me because I was afraid to work out. I was afraid to do anything because they told me that my body would have an 80 to 90% chance of going back into it because my CK levels in my blood were so high, and your muscles have memory. So they kind of told me that we don't know, you could, or you may or may not go back into this condition. And then it was pretty much like, good luck. So at that point, I really started to listen to my heart and be guided through my own health journey.
Perfect. So then you started combining your heart and your soul and your experience all together.
Yeah. And it really kind of, the more I did that, I feel like layers of myself kept floating away,
Yeah.
because it was really trying to find out what those underlying causes were. And when doctors in, modern day medicine and Western medicine were frozen on it and didn't know specifically how to treat this, at that point, I really needed to start to look on that other side of it, of that Eastern side of medicine.
Yeah. And then that's kind of when your whole intuitive journey kind of started too.
Yes.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Yep. I know that I've always kind of been very intuitive, but I quieted that voice for far too long. And I will say one reason of you helped me realize what an empath I am. I had no idea what that was for the longest time. And it's like knowledge is power. And once you kind of realize that and you allow yourself to be guided, so many miracles will show up and happen in your life.
Absolutely. And I mean, it's kind of like almost divine intervention that it all kind of came out that way, and it kind of brought that out a little bit more in you because you needed that in order to go to the next level.
Right.
So
And yeah, and oftentimes too, and people are so afraid of, hitting that rock bottom and not having answers, but oftentimes that's when we have to quiet ourselves the most and allow ourselves to be led.
Absolutely. I totally agree. And I'm so glad because then I got to meet you.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. Well, we're going to dive a little bit more into Natural Nurse Solutions in our next section because I would really love for you to talk more about this because I am super excited for you and what you have to offer. So we are going to take our first break. And when we come back, we are going to continue our conversation with Renee Evans, registered nurse. She is the owner of Natural Nurse Solutions, also a psychic medium and an energy healing. You are listening to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950.
Hi, Alex of Better Futures, Minnesota. Does your business or organization need janitorial services, lawn care, or snow services? Obtain a free, no-obligation estimate from Better Futures, Minnesota when you mention that you heard about us on AM 950. Our supervised, hardworking, and affordable crews will handle your interior and exterior building and property maintenance needs while you help men in your community transform their lives and walk on a positive path to success. It's a win-win. To learn more, go to betterfuturesminnesota.com under Business Services.
If you own a holistic or metaphysical business and are looking to expand, then you need to be listed on metamorphosisconnections.com. It's a network where you can grow with like-minded practitioners and reach new clients. Metamorphosisconnections.com is an online directory you need to list yourself and your business. Our platform makes it easy for you to create listings of your products and services, and you can also choose to list your classes, events, and so much more. Metamorphosisconnections.com helps you create weekly and monthly promotional ads targeted towards your potential clients and promotes them for you via social media and newsletter. There are clients searching for your specialty right now. Let us help them find you. Start your listing today so you can share your own unique gifts and talents by finding the level of membership that best fits your needs. Let us help you reach your clients that are searching for what you do. Visit metamorphosisconnections.com and sign up today.
The new year is here, and it's time to take advantage of Zero Res's best deal of the year. Carpets, tile, rugs, upholstery, basically every surface in your home can be Zero Resified, so it's time to call the cleaning pros at Zero Res. And don't forget your air ducts to help alleviate allergies and asthma. And it's also important to enjoy less dust, lower energy bills, and your home staying cleaner longer. Zero Res is here to protect your biggest investment, your home. Why pay someone to clean your carpet if they are going to leave something behind that makes it dirty again super fast? Zero Res is the longest lasting and best clean. Schedule your appointment at zeroresminnesota.com or call 952-0RES, and don't forget to ask for the AM 950 special. This month, book and clean in January only and get 23% off all services for 2023. That's 952-0RES or zeroresminnesota.com. Backward or forward spells the same. Zero Res.
Turn to Auto Technical with your vehicle donation. Even though Auto Technical is a small nonprofit, we have helped more families with transportation than any organization in Minnesota. Since '94, we have reconditioned donated vehicles so they have a higher tax benefit. Call Richard at 612-919-5526, 612-919-5526, or autotech.org.
Are you dreading Mondays, hating life, and living for the weekends? It might be time for some life changings with Pamela Topgen. She is a board-certified hypnotherapist and at hypnobreakthrough.com and can help. Consultations are always free, and you will always receive a complimentary sample session to try it out. Get in touch. Oh my gosh, Pamela, I'm so sorry. Get in touch on hypnobreakthrough.com or send a message on social media. Hypnobreakthrough at Pamela. Oh my gosh, Pamela, you're listening, and I'm really sorry about this. Hypnobreakthrough or Pamela Marie Topgen. Please visit Pamela or let her know that you have heard this on AM 950 on Ghostbox Radio. Whew. Okay, we can do this. All right, and welcome back to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950. My name is Char Savoy, and thank you for joining me as I am guest hosting for Greg this week. And again, one more time, happy birthday, Greg. Our guest today is Renee Evans. Renee is a registered nurse who works with her clients to help bridge the gap between nutrition, mind, body, and health. She is the owner of Natural Nurse Solutions. Please visit her site, www.naturalnursesolutions.com, to learn more about her and her services. Wow.
You did it.
Whoa. Okay. All right. So we kind of started talking about what is Natural Nurse Solutions. So Renee, what is it?
Yes, absolutely. So I like to think that Natural Nurse Solutions is just kind of putting that nature back into medicine. One of the biggest things that I realized is it does take both sides of medicine for people to really truthfully get the full benefit of what their health can be. And that's what, like I said, I brought up before, my own story of what kind of led me to it. And I just feel like there's a lot of natural approaches that we can take to medicine. They're both needed at their place and time. They both have their place and time of Eastern and Western medicine. But with Natural Nurse Solutions being a nurse-run business, it kind of takes a very different approach to things. Nurses are the ones you see at the bedside. They're the ones that know your entire story. They know why you're there. A lot of times they know your whole entire family. And you really start to develop those relationships with them. But what I really started to notice, what we were lacking in the modern day hospital life, is finding out what those underlying causes are. Oftentimes it can be related to mind, body, and spirit. Oftentimes when it comes to our health. And when we have that disease process that starts, it kind of throws everything off.
Right.
And so one of the reasons that I started Natural Nurse Solutions was, again, my own issues that I had with my health. And there wasn't any answers or solutions on the Western side of things. And I also realized, I had to stay within my scope of practice. So when I developed Natural Nurse Solutions, it started off very slow. And I started off as a Reiki master. And that's when you and I had met.
Yes.
And it's just our passion of wanting to make a difference and help people. And that's kind of where things had started. But I knew I always had a vision to kind of grow things bigger. And in the process of that, I was still healing myself. And when I couldn't physically do the things that I was doing before, it was working on those other things that I needed to kind of focus on with my mind, body, spirit, everything kind of connecting at once. And one of the things that I really started to notice is how deficient my body was in nutrients in general. So one of the things that I started to look at with Natural Nurse Solutions is how can we kind of target that. So one of the things that the newest thing that we've brought into our business is the IV and IM infusions, injections, as well as doing blood testing to kind of find out what those deficiencies are, specifically for each individual. Not just, I mean, we're humans, we're not cookie cutters. We all have a different story. We all have a different, even, two people can have the same disease, but have completely different symptoms. But on that like biochemistry level, it's going to give you more of an idea of how to treat, or not cure, but kind of be able to support your body on that cellular level. So that's one of the newest things that we've kind of brought into Natural Nurse Solutions. We do both in person as well as like concierge services. So we can come to people as well as they can come to the clinic to have different services and that type of thing done. We also do nutritional support as well. I became a certified health coach. So I help people along that process of what I was able to do when they told me I couldn't work out. They told me that, my body had an 80 to 90% chance of going back and shutting my kidneys down. So I was scared to death to actually go out and work out. It was like anytime I would feel, muscle pains or aches, I was like, oh, here we go. Like I would feel it again, but I finally and throughout those 4 years, I started to eat my emotions away and I kind of got to the point where I knew I needed to do something physically. And so 2 years ago, my dad actually found out he needed a kidney transplant. So me and my sister went in right away to see if we could be potential donors. And by then my kidneys had healed. And so they just did initial tests initially to kind of see if I could be a potential donor. And of course they came back and they said, great, you guys are the same blood type, but you're going to have to lose 20 to 30 pounds. And I was like, oh, here we go again. So I kind of had to get back into that physical approach again. And I tried on my own. To do all sorts of things under the sun to try to lose weight without exercising. And then the grace of God, I had a program that kind of fell on my plate. And I started off, I was very skeptical at first because I had tried so many things. I had actually called my health coach and I told him, I was like, this probably isn't going to work for me. I was very negative about it, which I'm surprised. I'm not a negative person.
Right.
But I was just kind of like, I don't think this is going to work for me. I've tried so many things. And he's like, well, lucky for you, if it doesn't work after 30 days, you can send it back. And I was like, okay, we'll give it a whirl. And within that first week, I noticed a difference. And it was ultimately because my body was so deficient on nutrients. And so the first week I started noticing differences in my sleep. Then I started noticing difference in my activity level. Then I started waking up before my alarm clock, which is like completely unheard of for me. Like anybody in my youth, they will tell you I was the one I had to set 10 alarms to finally get up and out of bed. I was always getting the second trip of the bus on the second trip around, But yeah, I was waking up before my alarm clock. And then I really started to dive into how important nutrition is, because it's essentially the foundation of our health. And if we're deficient on any of those things, we're going to feel it in different ways. We're going to feel it in different areas. So that is also another thing that we do. We do some nutritional coaching or counseling and coaching. And helping people along those lines. There's multiple different programs depending on if you can work out or you're not working out. There's some people that are, working out 5 hours a day. There's some that aren't at all. And I was under that category where I couldn't work out at all. And it was something that I was able to stick to. Of course, it kind of wax and wanes. We all fall off the wagon here and there. But it's just, it's learning those important steps to learn to get back on. And being able to work with somebody one-on-one as your personal health coach to kind of help you through that process.
Well, and that's what I love about what you're doing is it's very personal for the person. It's not like this cookie cutter box thing where some people, like one size fits all kind of thing. Exactly. Totally you can take the person and help them in what works for them. Mm-hmm. And that's what I like about it, because it's hard to find that one thing that works for you if you're trying to do what everybody else is doing.
Right. And what I learned too about myself with, this condition that I had before I found out it was a metabolic disorder. And oftentimes it's like people don't know that they have these underlying issues until different testing and things are done. And unfortunately, I didn't know until I went in to get tested to see if I could be a potential donor for my dad. And eventually they found out what that issue was 4 years prior. And
Wow.
it took that long for me to essentially convince someone to look into this further.
That's
And so,
crazy.
yeah, it was so interesting that it was just everything. It just it fell into place how it should and when it should.
That's awesome. All right, we're going to take another break, but we're going
Okay.
to dive deeper into this a little bit more in the next section. So we're going to take another break here, and when we come back, we are going to continue our conversation with Renee Evans, owner of Natural Nurse Solutions. You are listening to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950.
Hey, it's Tom telling you how All Energy Solar can make you see green in 2023. Fossil fuel prices will continue to rise this year, so lock in an energy rate with a new system from All Energy Solar. Solar panels from All Energy Solar last 25 to 30 years, giving you stable energy costs for decades to come. And besides solar panels, All Energy Solar can also help with solar battery storage and electric car charging stations. For 2023, many tax incentives are available, and All Energy Solar can walk you through the entire process. The Inflation Reduction Act included an extension and increase to the federal solar tax credit. Plus, many local utilities and communities in Minnesota offer solar rebates. But don't delay. Many local incentives are claimed on a first-come, first-served basis, meaning if you wait until the traditional spring construction season, those incentives will likely be gone. So make 2023 your greenest year ever, both environmentally and financially. Get a free no-obligation assessment from All Energy Solar by visiting allenergysolar.com.
Hi, this is Laura, and I want to tell you about my family's favorite thing. It's our wood stove. We bought it about 14 years ago from Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces. And see, the wood stove has actually paid for itself because we can keep the main area that we live in toasty warm with this great moist heat. But more important than saving money, it has actually improved our lives. Having a fire simplifies life. It provides comfort. It sort of takes the chill out of winter.
I'm Peter Solak. In 1977, I started Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, and I experienced the simple joy of warming myself by a fire. I also realized that the place and the way we embrace fire has evolved in a diversity of forms and styles. So at Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces, we have brought together the widest selection of our fireplace products and technical knowledge in the Twin Cities. Our mission is to use our knowledge to help you choose the design and function that is right for you and your home.
Visit Woodland Stoves and Fireplaces today and find the right fire for you. Hi, this is Laura. Listen to Food Freedom Radio every Saturday at 8 a.m. or anytime via podcast. Our individual health is connected to the health of each other and connected to the health of the earth. We know the problems with the dominant food system: climate change, deadening soils, nitrates in the water, factory farming, injustice, concentration of wealth. How do we both as individuals and as a community step up and support a living food system which honors the earth? Tune to Food Freedom Radio every Saturday at 8 a.m. and remember to support your independent farmers.
This is Gregory Rich, host of Drink in the Style and owner of Habitation Furnishing and Design. People often ask me, why habitation for my home? Well, I could give you hundreds of reasons. I could talk about the extensive collection of furnishing suppliers or our exceptionally talented design team. I could talk about service, but the truth is, habitation clients come back room after room and home after home, and that speaks volumes. Habitation puts some drama into your interiors.
Cafe Latte offers made-from-scratch soups, salads, sandwiches, and mouth-watering desserts. So come check out their pizza and wine bar, or get a treat from the bakery made fresh daily. Plus, you can still do online ordering and takeout, along with gift cards. Just go to cafelatte.com and choose from their ever-changing selection of award-winning salads, sandwiches, and soups. Cafe Latte is located off Victoria and Grand and online at cafelatte.com.
Okay, I have an open house alert in Anoka. Woo! ooh, who could this be for? Psychic medium Sandy Stangler and myself, Shar Savoy, are coming together to open Sinner Essence. Our vision is to collaborate with our intrinsic gifts to unite the physical, metaphysical, and the spirit. We have created a beautiful and calming space for all to find healing, peace, and insight. Sinner Essence provides a space for readings and healings, and there's also a space for all of our wonderful classes to be held. We would love to invite you to come and be a part of this exciting grand opening at our open house on Saturday, February 4th from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. There will be gift bags available for the first 20 people, filled with all kinds of wonderful little things, drawings for a future reading with Sandy and a future healing with myself, and also 10% discount on anything you sign up for that day as far as classes and events, and also the products that we have available in the shop will also be available for 10% off. We will also have refreshments be available, provided for you, so come get some goodies. Stop in anytime between noon and 6 p.m. and see me and Sandy and enjoy everything that we have going on. We're really excited to be sharing this with you, and we're excited to offer this new space to help with healings and readings and classes. We are located in the Anoka Law Center at 316 East Main Street, Anoka, Minnesota 55303 in the lower level, Suite 30. Also, Ghost Stories and Beyond is back on February 1st at Billy's Bar and Grill in Anoka. February's subject will be Something to See. On November 5th, 2022, a group of investigators did a paranormal investigation of the Grant House in Rush City, Minnesota. One of the sessions yielded an amazing amount of evidence and included equipment use such as a spirit box, mediumship, shadows, spirit touch over the course of an entire hotel, all happening within a span of 18 minutes, and all of it was connected. Join us as these investigators will share their experience of that night, including lots of evidence being played. It starts at 6:30 p.m. on February 1st at Billy's Bar and Grill in Anoka in the basement of the restaurant. It is $10 to get in, which does not cover the food, but they do have a full restaurant and a bar service available throughout the whole time. So, and also, if you missed Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken Live, AM 950 replays these episodes Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, or you can listen anytime by going to Spotify or iTunes. After listings, please make sure you leave a positive review for the show. Our guest today is Renee Evans. She's a registered nurse, the owner of Natural Nurse Solutions, and she's also a very gifted energy healer and a psychic medium. Can you fix my tongue-tiedness?
I don't know about that.
Dang it.
We can try. Come over here.
I know that's been a lifelong struggle here. All right. So Renee, let's talk about this for a little bit. Let's just kind of start we met working in a metaphysical shop. Mm-hmm. And so your intuitiveness and your gifts and your healings and everything, you bring that along into Natural Nurse Solutions, correct?
Yes, I absolutely do.
I love that because I feel like if you're going to help people, you truly should help the mind, body, and spirit. And that's what you're doing. You're connecting on all levels. Mm-hmm. I love that.
Yes. And that's one of the reasons, too, I feel why I wanted to kind of branch out from the hospital, because oftentimes we're already naturally doing that as nurses, but we have to stay in that box. Right. And I am not somebody that can stay in a box.
No, you're not. You are not. And I love that about you. And that's what makes you amazing.
Go against the grain. You know, I was always the kid that had to touch the stove to know it was hot.
Me too. All right. So let's dive down into a little bit of what Natural Nurse Solutions is and all the things that you have to offer, because you've got some pretty unique things that I've never heard of. And I'm really intrigued to hear more.
Yeah. So I know we were talking a little bit before about the IV drips and the micronutrients. One of the things that I love that we do with this is the micronutrient testing, because the micronutrient testing really analyzes that specific person's blood, and we can look at what those deficits have been over the last 3 months. We use a CLIA certified HIPAA compliant lab that's a third party, but I've definitely done my research. They're an incredible lab to work with, and what they do is they look at the different micronutrient deficiencies that you personally may have, and oftentimes when we can target those nutrients or those nutrient deficiencies, we can help not necessarily reverse disease, but we can slow down the progress. We can, make ourselves healthier. So maybe we don't get, sick right before, we come up to a big event, or, if we have those deficits that are in our system, not knowing what they are, we can actually test for that. So that's one thing that I absolutely love about this, because we can also then specifically curate a drip of what you need. Because I mean, oftentimes too, it's like each visit, you're going to get like that one-on-one consultation with a nurse. And when I'm, doing those consultations with people, that's when my intuitive side and that energy healing kind of comes in, because sometimes as soon as somebody walks into the room, I can feel it. I can feel it. So then I can intuitively kind of ask those specific questions to one of our patients that come in, and then kind of help them target those needs or help identify what needs they might have.
And I think that's great, because I think sometimes when people go to the doctor, they get so focused on what they want to say and how they want to go about it that they forget about the feeling part of themselves, like what's really going on internally.
Yes, and that is so true. I mean, I even know myself, I have white coat syndrome. I don't enjoy going to the doctor.
Right.
And it's like there's certain things I'll be like, I leave and I'm like, oh, I forgot to tell them about this. Because a lot of times when you're sitting in a physician's office, it's like it's just like you're there for like the one thing.
Right.
And we are like an accordion. Our bodies are connected. So oftentimes there might be multiple other things that are going on, but the reason you scheduled the appointment in the first place was for that one specific thing. I mean, you even have to write it in the little comment box when you go on My Chart, like why you're coming in.
Right.
And they only leave you a few characters. So, you have to work with that. So that's one of the things that I love about having that one-on-one consultation when people come in. Because also another part of the business that we do is we have almost what we call like a nurse guardianship membership. So we can actually go with our patients to clinic appointments. We can go if they're in the hospital, we can visit them and kind of be their advocate in their corner as their kind of personal nurse to ask those questions.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I love that, because I partnered with a bunch of nurses in multiple different specialties. So we have OB nurses, we have surgical nurses, we have ER nurses, ICU nurses, clinic nurses, oncology nurses. So that what is one thing that I absolutely love, because as we know, I don't think this is news to anybody, but our health system is breaking in so many different ways. I love being a nurse, but there's many deficits and gaps that are happening right now. And doctors and nurses their time is so limited when you go in to make appointments.
Right.
So oftentimes, they are still caring for people, but that visit that used to be 30 minutes and they could take that time to really dive into things more, it's condensed now to 5 to 10 minutes that you really have that time to spend with your physician. And oftentimes they're saying things that aren't necessarily broken down into layman's terms.
Right.
And then, you get your discharge summary and people are like, I'm not even quite sure what this says. So what we usually do with this personal care and like kind of nurse guardianship is we look through their medical charts. We do all the things that we can preemptively going into their appointments, or if they are to have surgery, to kind of help them guide through the process. Because I know even being a nurse, it's very difficult to navigate the system. And especially right now, it's been, there's a lot of gaps that we do have that, the normal everyday person that's not seeing, what that normal process should be might not know. And so we as like a group of nurses are coming from that perspective. There we go.
Ooh,
It's rubbing off
transferred
of
it.
me. Yep, it's transferred. You can have it back.
You're my nurse now. You got it.
Oh, okay, I got this. But that, and also it's the different specialties that we have, because, my specialty is more that emergency room, medicine. Whereas, oncology isn't necessarily my high point, or even really knowing much about how that process works.
Right.
But being able to work with a nurse that has that, personal relationship and experience in that specific department is really going to help people be able to kind of go through and navigate the process a lot easier.
Well, and then you can help them with the aftercare part too. If they want to
Yes.
come to you for the other stuff, you can kind of work with what's going on.
Yeah. And then you can kind of understand, you're kind of assigned to that nurse to kind of help you through. And, we're there in your corner. We are truthfully there to help you understand and to navigate that system and understand your health better. I think that's one of the biggest things that we lack often is you leave an appointment and you're put on different medications, or they want you to go in and do different tests, and you might not even know why. But
Right.
they're just like, I think they said to follow up with so and so with such specialty, but I don't know why. And so having somebody that has that medical knowledge and can kind of speak medicine will really kind of help people be able to hopefully fill in those gaps of where we're lacking right now.
Right. And like you said too, like the white cone syndrome, you go in there and you're just kind of blank and
Mhm.
you don't know what to ask. You don't know how to be your own advocate. You just trust that whatever's happening is happening. And there could be follow-up questions that could be really simple and you'd like put you at ease and you'd forget to ask or didn't know what to ask.
Right. And oftentimes too, like, when I do have those consultations one-on-one with my patients is, really starting to dive in and asking the questions. And like the first question is really like, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, what is going on right now in your day, in your life? Are you happy with your career? Like, it starts in so many different ways because oftentimes, again, we're so hyper focused on like the one shiny object.
Right.
And we ourselves, even as patients and being on the other side of the bed, is, oftentimes, we have an issue, but then it's like, oh, I forgot to bring up this and this. And oftentimes, by the time you remember to do it, you're already in your car, you're on your way home, and you forget to send your MyChart message, or, it's like, oh, and then it can be overwhelming. Even,
Yeah.
being a nurse trying to navigate the system, because it really is. It's like we try to help fill in those gaps for sure.
I love that. I think that's great. I'm sign me up. Because obviously I can't even talk on a radio show, so I need some help.
You got me in your back pocket, girl.
No, I really do love it. I think that's great. I love all the things that you have on your website as well, which is www.naturalnursesolutions.com,
Yep.
correct?
Yep.
And then you also have a Facebook page as well.
Yep. And it's Natural Nurse Solutions.
Perfect. So yes, make sure you're finding her there because some of the stuff she has on there, I had to really like sit and read about it. I'm like, what's this? What's this? I was all excited. So I think it's wonderful. And I love that, like I said before, that wide range of stuff that you have available. So it's not that cookie cutter thing anymore. Like you were really diving in deep to help each person individually on the mind, body, and spirit level, which I think is so important because sometimes our physical health is off because of our spiritual health or our mental health. And
Absolutely.
so sometimes those symptoms that we go into the doctor to get treated really aren't the core problem.
Mm-hmm.
So I love that you're incorporating all of that to kind of help everybody get the full picture because we all understand the physical part when we don't feel good, but we forget about the other pieces that go with it.
Yeah. And it can cause that domino effect. It's, our mental health and our spiritual health can affect our physical health and vice versa.
Absolutely. All right. We're going to take our last break here. And when we come back, we are going to finish our conversation with Renee Evans, owner of the Natural Nurse Solutions. You are listening to Ghostbox Radio on AM 950.
Thanks to everyone who supported AM 950 for the last 3 years. Good news, the AM 950 2023 calendar is ready to go, featuring photos I took around Minnesota and important progressive dates. If you sign up to become a member with a one-time $50 membership or recurring monthly membership of $10, you'll receive a 2023 AM 950 calendar as a thank you gift. Go to am950radio.com to become a member and receive a calendar. That's am950radio.com. Thank you so much for supporting AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
Hello, this is Ellie Krug with Ellie 2.0 Radio. Now my show will be on Saturdays from 10 to 11 and replayed on Sundays from 1 to 2. You will get to the best of Ellie 2.0 with talking about idealism with guests who come in and who are idealistic, who are trying to change the world, and you will get me, Super Idealist. Tune in. We can't wait to hear from you, and you'll hear from me Saturdays from 10 to 11.
Reach your highest level of consciousness and well-being with metamorphosisconnections.com. Metamorphosisconnections.com is an online directory of the best holistic and metaphysical practitioners to help you make your most informed choices. You can search metamorphosisconnections.com for classes, events, wellness and life coaches, plus metaphysical products and shops. You can also search for a wide array of healers from all modalities, including EFT, sound healing, energy healing, light therapy, ancestral healing, shamanic healing, reflexology, past life regressions, hypnotherapy, yoga, and more. And if you're not sure where to start, the search feature on metamorphosisconnections.com is tailored to help both those who know what they are looking for and those who are just starting. Come explore the possibilities for your higher self by visiting metamorphosisconnections.com. Their experienced practitioners can guide both beginners and those that are already on their spiritual journey. That's metamorphosisconnection.com, your link to direct you on your spiritual transformation.
Winter is here, and there's a good chance your home isn't being heated efficiently. And it's likely because of air sealing and insulation problems. Inadequate attic insulation is the leading contributor to high energy bills, cold rooms, and ice dams. Great news, the energy-efficient pros at Snap Construction can fix it all. Stop the heat from leaking out and save. Call 612-333-SNAP or visit snapconstruction.com for your free infrared energy inspection. Install with Snap Construction and qualify for over $750 in rebates and incentives. State and city programs are now offering 0% financing for qualifying insulation upgrades. So call Snap Construction for your free insulation energy consultation and start saving on your energy bills. Call 612-333-SNAP. That's 612-333-SNAP. Or visit snapconstruction.com. Snap Construction is arguably the most well-reviewed insulation and exterior contractor in the metro area. Visit snapconstruction.com.
Next week on Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken, yes, he will be back, so fear no more that I will be talking. Greg is back with guest paranormal investigator Shannon Rogers. Shannon has been on such shows as Eli Roth Presents A Ghost Ruined My Life, and has started a show with intuitive medium Jennifer Lee, as seen on this show as well, called The Calling, the Forgotten Files podcast, that can be seen on Facebook, and it will be a fun conversation between them. For our final segment, we return to our guest today, Renee Evans. Renee is a registered nurse and owner of Natural Nurse Solutions. She is also a very gifted psychic medium and energy healer. Welcome back, Renee.
Thank you.
Thanks for not running away.
Still here.
Awesome. All right. So now I was looking at your site and you have some things on there that I want to ask you about.
Yes.
So what is EFT?
EFT. Oh, that's exciting. EFT is emotional freedom technique. So essentially what the process of it is, you're kind of going through, you want to identify either emotion or a situation. And what EFT is designed to do is to be able to help your inner self attach to that emotion that you feel and the physical response that it gives you in your body. So if there is something that's negative, or you're trying to overcome or trying to do different things with manifestation, I work with actually a lot of people that have dealt with trauma in their past, because there's a lot of emotion that comes with that trauma. So what EFT is it's tapping on specific points of your body that's kind of like your meridian points that they use a lot in Eastern medicine. And it's tapping on those specific meridian points to help decrease how your body is responding to that emotion.
I tap on my tongue for a little bit.
Yeah. There's specific places.
I don't know if
there is one by the mouth and underneath
okay.
the chin.
Then maybe I'll just tap my face.
Yep. And as you're doing that, you're thinking about that emotion and kind of monitoring how your body is physically responding to those areas. And then also there's things that you say in the process of different affirmations that you say throughout that process of being able to kind of uncover that emotion. And really, like, my job is to kind of get you to feel that emotion and be able to break through that emotion.
Awesome. All right. I'm going to book that appointment too. Okay. One other one I looked at was the biomat. Tell me more about this.
The biomat. I love my biomat. So the biomat it's essentially, it looks like a large heating mat, but it is so much more than that. So it actually releases negative ions. It's almost like laying on an infrared sauna. So you adjust the temperature, and what it does is it does have 25 pounds of my favorite amethyst crystal in that mat. And it actually, the heat is the far infrared waves. So it's very similar to like the infrared sauna. It penetrates your body 6 to 8 inches, and it really helps you detoxify. And it also, the way that I can best describe like the combination of the negative ions, the infrared heat, and just the process in general is giving your cells like nature's way of energizing you. So it really kind of helps detoxify your body, helps you get energy. And it also, I've laid on that thing. At first, I cooked myself on it, not realizing I should only be on it for about 10 to 20 minutes the first time. And I decided to lay on it all night. And I woke up and I'm pretty sure I floated to the bathroom in the morning. I was like, you want to take it in small stages. Yes. Yes. But that's also something that we do while people are, either getting a Reiki session, an EFT session, getting their IV, because also sometimes when you get an IV, you can get a little chilled. And being on that biomat just kind of helps enhance those effects.
I love it. All right. And then we have a few more minutes. So really quickly, what is an IV drip party?
Oh, those are super fun. So we go either into people's homes, offices, hotels we've gone to. And essentially what that is a group of friends that's either trying to get healthy together, trying to recover from a hangover together. There's always that. We do get quite a few of those calls. But it's also, we sometimes go into people's homes that are also sick. Like we're nurses and we know how to work with sick people. So we do have specific, regulations if you're actively sick, but oftentimes people do that as a family to prevent you from getting sick. So we do IV drip parties, and there's also a discount when people do more than one drip at a time. So we have all of that.
Guess what everybody's getting for Christmas?
Yep.
Christmas party at my house.
Yeah, exactly.
You want me to
drip
host?
for you, a drip for you,
Right?
a drip for you.
Right. Oh my gosh. Well, I love that all these things are being incorporated and how they're all kind of connected and coming together. This is amazing. And I have to tell you, yes, I know Renee. We are really good friends. I have had healings with her. I have had readings with her. She is very gifted. She's very intuitive. Like I will say one thing about how I'm feeling, and she is off and running. I mean, you truly are into this with your heart, and you dig deep into helping people find what it is that they need help with. And your healings are fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
So
making me blush.
All right, Renee, where are you located?
So we are located. See, there it goes. We're located. We are located in Blaine. It's kind of the border of Blaine and Coon Rapids, in very close to the Northtown Mall.
Okay, perfect. And how do people get a hold of you?
Best way to get a hold of us is through our website, which is www.naturalnursesolutions.com. You can also email us at admin@naturalnursesolutions.com. And our website does have a specific area in there that you can click on to either get in contact with us or to book an appointment or a consultation.
Perfect. And then, like we said before, you are on Facebook as well.
Yes.
So we can find you there. And you have something very special to say today about booking with you today.
Yes. So today we are actually offering 50% off any of the services with using the promo code AM950.
Look at that. Yay. I'm going to be booking as soon as we are off the air because I want all of those, everything, all the way down the line. I'm going to pick it all, I think.
So, a la carte.
A la carte, man. I love this. And so it's just been like a really informative thing to really hear more about this, because you kind of hear little tidbits about this as a new thing kind of happening, but you don't really know that much about it. So Renee, thank you for like explaining it in detail. And I love that you go the extra step. That's the best part about it, that you really are doing the extra intuitiveness, the extra healing, the extra digging into that DNA testing, all of that stuff, which is like so cool to me that you are just taking it to the next level, which knowing you, I not surprised that you would do that.
Oh, well, thank you.
So, and what's the future goals look like for Natural Nurse Solutions?
I would love to branch out. Hawaii is my ultimate goal to get to.
She needs an
So
assistant.
yes, I need an assistant. That's where my
Adam's
wholesome
nodding. He's gonna
retreat-
go with.
That's where my retreat space is going to be
All
for
right.
sure.
That sounds like a great plan. All right. I want to thank my guest and friend, Renee Evans, for being here today to share her own business adventures. Please check out www.naturalnursesolutions.com and also find Natural Nurse Solutions on Facebook. Check out all the wonderful healing services and reach out to Renee to see how she can help you. She is dedicated to helping others on their health journey, and I can say personally, she puts 1,000% into what she does. Thank you so much for being here, Renee. This has been Ghostbox Radio with Greg Bakken on AM 950. I'm Char Savoy, and Greg will be back next week. Take care, everyone.
Eat Local Minnesota is a great way to find locally owned Minnesota restaurants.